Welcome to Toffee Blue View, your source for all things Everton. I'm Gerry. With me are Edward and Max. David is not here. He is getting his beard trimmed.
Does he have one?
Yes. Have you never noticed David's beard?
Oh, yeah, he does.
It's glorious. It's because he gets it worked on, all right? By professionals, beardologists, all right? So, we got a game coming up this weekend. Got a little time before that. But let's go ahead and preview Chelsea. All right? Chelsea's coming to town.
Fake Blues.
Yeah. We always, in my house, we call them the bad blue team. All right? It's the way we gotta talk to the 5 and 2-year-old that way. So, so guys, let me rattle off a little bit of Chelsea info. Recent form, they're in third place with 38 points. They recently beat Southampton 1-0 and Huddersfield 3-1. Before that, they lost to West Ham. That happened.
We had a chance.
It's a thing that happened. They're playing Bournemouth on Wednesday in the Carabao Cup, which we're just not doing Carabao Cup this year. We just didn't want to. So they're not flying as high as last season, but they're not having the worst season in the world. You know, they'll probably run their typical 3-4-3 that they have been doing since like last season. Sometimes he mixes it up a little bit, but usually Conte kind of wants teams to adjust to their system. So we could easily see Courtois, Christensen. Cahill, Azpilicueta, Bakayoko, Conte, Alonso, either Moses or Zappacosta, Willian, Hazard, MORATA, and you could see Pedro or Fabregas come into play as well. All right? But yeah, danger men are usually... Morata's had some injury problems earlier. We talked about that, Max. He did come off the bench in their recent game, though, so he could be in there. He's had 10 goals this season, I think, and Hazard has 8. They have no shortage of goal scorers. They pass the ball well, and they play good D. You know, they have a very stingy defense. So before we get into what our team could be doing, Max, you were mentioning that there's some kind of stuff going on with Conte over at Chelsea.
Yeah, then I mean, I've got a Chelsea opposition view coming up in the next few days, so
go check it out.
Go and check that out if you can. But I was just Chelsea to me have always kind of seemed like the team where behind the scenes antics have always kind of overshadowed what's going on the pitch. Really, I mean, they've got a really egotistical owner in Roman Abramovich who has very high standards. I mean, as we pointed out. I think they're only 3 or 4 points off Man United in second, but I think they're a good few off Man City, so it doesn't look like they're going to catch Man City. And as you said, I think Conte, there's trouble with Conte going on at the moment. I mean, he's voiced his unhappiness with not getting certain transfer targets in the summer. There's talk of David Luiz is wanting to jump ship because he's had a bit of a misunderstanding with.
I'd take him.
He's had a bit of a misunderstanding with Conte, but you know, it's Chelsea. They've kind of become an institution in and of themselves, where they've always kind of got a squad there that is just littered with star-studded talent and players that can turn games on their head, which we've really got to look out for, because we can be as defensively organised as we like. It only takes one certain pass to a Hazard or a Willian or even Marcus Alonso, the form he's in at the minute, and they can catch us out.
The idea of Hazard or Willian kind of coming up against Cuca Martina on the edge. Martina, to his credit, has played a lot better. There's been games where he's led our team in tackles, seriously. But I saw yesterday when we were playing Swansea, I saw him get outpaced a few times by, was it Narsingh?
Yeah.
That happened. So Kuko is not does not really have blazing speed. I think he actually has played pretty smart for the most part. But I don't. Yeah, it's like you said, defensive organization is one thing, but when they have more quickness and speed, it's tough.
I think really Martinez's problem was his positioning in the whole game more, because he didn't know when to go forward, when to stay back, and what position was best for certain situations.
One or two times he got caught out not trailing the man, not staying with the man, and that looked bad. But it wasn't. It was the exception, not the rule. But it did happen a time or two.
Yeah, I think if we're referring to the Swansea game last night, I think Pucko was on the front foot a lot more. I seen him; he did get up a lot more, and he was combining with the likes of Sigurdsson and Rooney.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Did you see the overlap for the goal?
Yeah, there were the good overlaps that he made, as you say, for the goal as well. I think that, particularly against Swansea, I think he's probably been wanting to show that, but probably just hasn't been able to with, Sam coming in and trying to redevelop the whole defence. I've got a weird feeling that this might be similar to the Liverpool away game, even though we're at Goodison. But there've been plenty of examples of Chelsea coming to Goodison in the past, and we've took it to them and ripped them apart. But
like the Naismith game.
Exactly. But under Conte, they do seem like a completely different animal. Really, I think they work like it's just like a well-oiled machine. Really, they're just such a really efficient team.
Well, I think really he plays everyone in their position right. So and if they've not, they've worked to be in that position, and they are great in that position.
Well, and he also, he had the wisdom to try Victor Moses out as a wing back. You see it now, and you're like, wow, he's pretty solid in that position. He's doing really well there. We knew he had speed. We knew he had attacking prowess. I don't think we realized he had any defensive chops, but he's done well there when he's played in there. So I don't know, guys. They're an organized squad. They're a deep squad. In the past, they bring Willian off the bench, and that's just insane to me.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's always a moment of quality when he's on the pitch.
Did you see that? Someone made a comment about it last season with our bench and their bench. They bring on the substitutes, Fabregas, Willian, Pedro, and we bring on Valencia and someone else.
Well, anyone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's something that I've referred to several times. I think, because obviously, I think, do we all accept that we're out of the relegation scare now and we're looking up rather than looking down? Do we all accept that?
Yeah, I think so.
So if we're wanting to challenge for Europe again and try and become kind of the seventh member of the Big Six, as the media called us a few times, I've said, we need to start up in the just general quality of the squad. We talked about it off camera as well. We tend to be quite sentimental, not just as fans, but as a club. I know, Edward's a fan of the likes of Nias, but I feel we need to up the quality of that. I know, like Calvert-Lewin, for example. I say if the January goes the way I want it to go, we bring in someone like Olivier Giroud. We start Olivier Giroud, and we can bring a bright spark like Calvert-Lewin off the bench. That's an indication that things are getting better. I think we need to just up the general quality of the squad, so we've got a deeper squad with better players that we can bring off the bench and not look like a lesser squad. We need, like, as we say, they bring the likes of Willian and Fabregas off the bench. They're players that probably make every other squad in the league.
Really quick, when Sandro came in with Calvert-Lewin, they were both playing. We had gone to 4-4-2 at that point, correct?
No, I think we went 4-3-3 because they had Sandro and Calvert-Lewin switching.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Sandro and Calvert-Lewin, I thought were the main ones up front.
Yeah, it was just to see the game out. That really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was only in like the last minute, I think.
It was very brief.
It was I think the 89th minute. So I don't know what instructions he was given. It was, I know the ball kind of went into the corner and he got involved down there.
Yeah.
You know, this is going to be a big game for Calvert-Lewin. This, I feel,
this is going to be a big game for Sam. If he's up for it.
He said, I mean, I watched his interview after the Swansea game. He said this is a game where we'll really find out what we're made of. It's a chance that if we do get a result, then I do feel like a charge to get a European place maybe on the cards. I think maybe no chance that we're going to get Champions League, but maybe try and get to the 7th, 6th place.
I'm still sticking at my challenge. If we get 6th or 7th, I'm going to do 365 videos.
That'd be awesome.
I'm still sticking with that.
I mean, the cool thing, and somebody actually commented about what Sam has done for our club already. And I responded on the video. I said, we go into every match, and I think we can take some kind of points from it. Every one. You know? And this one, I don't go into this one thinking, oh, we're gonna totally rip them apart. But do I think we can get a point out of this? Yeah. Do I think we can get 3 points out of this? Yeah, I do. You know?
Especially
that positivity is wonderful.
If the atmosphere is there for the day, because I feel like the win against Swansea and the couple of games we've gone unbeaten, fans are going to be a lot more positive. Like I think Max has said as well in the atmosphere video, the fans are feeling that positivity. That's going to help influence the game, I think, as well.
Here's a question. If we park the bus, how's that atmosphere going to work out?
Not great, because we should be going for it.
If we take this is my point from the Liverpool game, that if we are solid and we don't slip at any moment, you know. And against Liverpool, we had the Salah goal where Coco got stuck in and he just got done. Really,
yeah. But I mean, Salah's
if everyone does
the quality,
there's no individual mistakes, and if we take chances that come our way. And that's going to be my thing, is how are we going to create chances? Because it's going to be Calvert-Lewin up there against 3 centre-halves.
And one of the best goalkeepers in the league.
Yep. I feel the 3 centre-halves he's up against dominate him in every single area, really. I think if the ball gets launched up, I think they're going to win headers ahead of him. I mean, I know he's done well in terms of winning headers, but I just think that's probably Chelsea's defence best quality. They are so solid when it comes to balls, like long balls being played at them. They get caught out occasionally when the ball's been played on the floor quick. You know, this is the chance for Dominic to try and show his quickness, really, getting balls in behind. So,
if you look at,
I think if we don't go.
No, I was just going to say, as far as their defense goes, Christensen has kind of slotted in there this season. His passing efficiency is ridiculous.
He's brilliant. He is so good. He was brilliant to Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he's someone that I'd have hoped Everton were looking at. But obviously, I mean, Conte saw his quality and decided to include them in the Chelsea 11, and you know, they're seeing the fruits of that. He's just so good.
Edward, what were you saying, man?
I think if we don't replicate their system, because they are the ones that sort of brought the whole 3 at the back formation in, and if we did that last season and we got completely ripped apart, so we shouldn't really try and play their game. We should do our own, you know, try and do it, and it might work for us. So, because if we go 3 at the back, it's not going to work.
So, I mean, Sam hasn't run 3 in the back this whole time he's been here, okay? He's been very consistent. So this leads me to what we think the team's going to be, all right? So I actually think it's going to look exactly like the one that just started, regardless of the fact that Schneiderlin didn't really have the best game. I know Big Sam tends to roll with the hot hand between Davies and Schneiderlin. I think he's going to want to be a little more defensive because that's what Schneiderlin is. So I think it'll be the same starters. What about y'all?
Well, the question is, I think, sorry, go on, you go, Max.
No, I'm just going to say I agree, and this is another player that needs to have a top game, because, you know, when I've been watching Schneiderlin, particularly under Sam, he's shown how key he is to the defensive shape and to providing cover to our defence, who have seemed to be a lot more confident in the last few weeks. So I think he does need to have a top game more than Schneiderlin.
I think really the whole lineup's going to be affected. Are we going to go at them attacking, or are we going to go defensive? Because if we go defensive, Schneiderlin will come in, we'll stick with the same line. If we go attacking, we'll put Davies in and go for that formation that we played against Swansea for the last couple of minutes or so.
Yeah,
That's what I think is going to be the team.
Yeah,
He'll stick with the same defence.
I think so. It wouldn't surprise me. You know, the idea of taking Schneiderlin out and putting Davies in, to a casual observer, it would seem almost a like for like type of a sub. But for people that are watching every match like we are, we know that there is a difference. But it's a much more subtle difference than putting in a striker. You know what I mean? It's you're putting in someone who is just going to push forward a little bit more, and he's going to make more forward passes rather than sideways and backward passes.
Now you brought that up, I think there's a case to be made that if Davies does start, that he can win. He can get in positions that will win us free kicks. And as we've seen against Swansea, when you're playing against a team that you feel like you're very technically inferior to, it's been the case pretty much forever, really. Set pieces are kind of like a level playing field. With the right ball in and a man on the end of it, you know, you can score. And I feel like we've got to utilise this against this Chelsea team, even though they are very good at dealing with set pieces.
It wouldn't surprise me if Nias gets on the bench for this one, guys. Just because of his athleticism and his tendency to force errors from the other team.
He's got strength as well, which isn't really what... He's got more strength, I think, than Sandro and Calvert-Lewin have.
Yeah,
he does.
He could start.
Yeah.
Thinking about it, maybe.
I don't think he's going to start ahead of Calvert-Lewin, but I think he's going to make the bench ahead of Sandro. I think, if I'm not wrong, Sandro started against Chelsea in the league earlier in the season away.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
He just got bowled over. It's because his older play was weak, and he just wasn't. He was coming too deep, really, and he just wasn't making any chances. So yeah, I think that's a really strong case to be made that Nias makes the squad ahead of Sandro.
I guess we'll see. It's hard to. It's a little bit harder to predict what Sam's going to do on the bench. A little easier to predict what he's putting on the field. All right. So, speaking of predictions, scores.
Go on, Gerry. You go first.
I'm gonna say it's maybe insane of me. 1-0, we win.
What?
I'm going there. I don't know. I like our. We've beaten Chelsea at Goodison before.
You're feeling positive?
I am, and you know what? They're not coming off a loss. You know, if they were coming off a loss, I would probably say we'd lose, because Conte, when they lose, he tends to really rally them back and they're focused. But I don't know.
It depends how they get on against Bournemouth, I think, because they're not going to win the league. They've got Barca in the Champions League. So, 1-1.
With my head, I'm going to say... No, actually, I'm going to say with my heart, I'm going to say... 2-1. I think. And with my head...
Blues or Chelsea? Or the Blues? Everton or Chelsea?
2-1 win. 2-1 win. But with my head, I think it's going to be a ball draw. I actually think it's going to be a ball draw.
I don't think it's going to be a boring game. I think we're gonna have to be sharp to not concede, really. And I think it's going to be kind of one of those games where if it goes to plan, we're going to have a lot more appreciation for the defensive side of the game.
Definitely.
First half, I think
it'll be interesting.
First half, I think is going to look a lot like the derby. I think we'll just be trying to just dull them down. Second half, I think I'll open up.
I think we can't concede early. I mean, again, it's quite similar to the derby, really. Like, if we concede early, I can see them just running riot. But who knows? Got to wait and see.
Yeah. All right, guys. So I think we've covered this pretty amply. That is the end of our Chelsea preview. If you're digging the videos, please subscribe. We're really close to 200. Our young little channel is starting to grow up. It's kind of neat. All right?
Makes me so sad.
Check out Max's writing on the Toffee Blues website. Check out Edward's YouTube channel, Jam E James. Details are down there. Check out the Toffee Blues website. All right, lots of stuff on there. Check out Toffee Blues on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Maybe meet them in the park. It'd just be so nice. But I think that's it. David, where art thou? I'm assuming you're fine out there. Probably very cold wherever he is. That's what I'll say. All right, gents.
He's on his beard to warm him up. He's all right.
That's possible, but he has just gotten a trim on the beard, so maybe it's less warmth. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Appreciate the work. Audience, thanks for watching and listening. I guess we're done. Let's have a good one this weekend. Bye.
Heading off.